Thank you, Taraji, for your 32-cent mic for making this possible. Welcome to Baking with Bostinelos, where I will be making that bread. Or to be baking that bread. Obtaining the bread? Something like that. We'll be making whole wheat bread. So we got some whole wheat flour right here. Because we're healthy. We got sugar, because we're not healthy. Mashed potato mix. We'll see how this gets used. Got some butter. Dry milk. Who eats this? And we got some yeast. And we got some milk and some orange juice. We will be making whole wheat bread. And hopefully I don't mess it up. I'm counting on it. Alright, starting off, we have a small bowl here. We will be making our yeast solution. Now starting off with 2 1/4 teaspoons of not instant yeast. I'm just using standard yeast because not that fancy. So into the bowl goes the yeast. And then we'll take half a cup of lukewarm water and we'll combine that. Next goes in a small pinch of sugar. And then we wait 15 minutes. Give it a little stir. Then we wait 15 minutes for that to rise up and become puffy. Alexa, play Sicko Mode by Travis Scott.
Okay, Sicko Mode by Travis Scott from Denis-Pavlov-Music.
After 15 minutes, your yeast solution should look like this. Alright, into a mixing bowl goes your solution. Half a cup of milk, lukewarm. Half a cup of orange juice. 5 tablespoons of melted butter. There's a chunk in there that was not so melted, but this thing is already hot enough, so it's probably going to cause issue. 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. My salt is pink because it's the Himalayan pink salt, and I'm a princess. 3 tablespoons of sugar. Notice how I said tablespoons. Some people don't get their measurements correct, and they put tablespoons instead of teaspoons, and that makes their waffles taste very salty. 1/4 cup of that dry milk stuff. That seems really gross. I might drink some later, just for giggles, I guess. This does not look appetizing in the slightest. 3/4 of a cup of dried mashed potato flakes. This is where it gets used. This is really weird, actually. I've never seen these used in a recipe that isn't, dried mashed potatoes or putting them in Miss Miller's lawn or something like that. Now for the star of the recipe. 3 3/4 cup of this whole wheat, flour. The whole reason I'm going to get graded for this entire thing, so let's get that in there. This probably wasn't the right bowl to use for this, but we do what we can. Yeah. Now, all of this will be going in a stand mixer. And I will be kneading this for 7 minutes. You can do it by hand or a bread machine if you're fancy like that. But I will be using a stand mixer, and I will be kneading it on low for 7 minutes. While the dough is being formed, I'm going to lightly grease up a bowl with a little bit of, I think this is olive oil. I'm going to take this towel. I'm just going to take some of that oil and just spread it all around the bowl. Until it is fully oiled up. Like Noah past 9 p.m. Now, place the dough into the bowl. Then I'm going to cover it with saran wrap, and then we're going to let it sit for about 95 minutes or so until the dough has risen. I will be back in 90 minutes. After 90 minutes, this is how much the dough rose. It's looking, I think it should be bigger than it was. It looks like it is. So, good. Now we grease up a bread pan like this. I'm going to go get some olive oil and I'm going to grease it up real quick. After you grease it up, you're going to take the dough, you're going to form it into a log, you're going to place it in here, and you're going to let it sit for 75 more minutes. Once in the pan like this, you're going to cover with more plastic wrap and let it sit for 75 more minutes. Once your bread has risen, kind of like mine, it could probably be better. I don't really have time to let it keep going. It's already like almost 11 o'clock at night, and the only reason I haven't been kicked out of the kitchen is because my parents are at Billie Eilish with my sisters, so I'm the bad guy. So this is probably the best I'm going to get it right now. It could probably be done better. Do not forget to preheat your oven. This is 75 minutes later though. So in a little bit, once the oven is done preheating, this will go right to the oven. And then that will start baking. Alright, now it is time to put this bad boy in the oven. Let that bake for 10 minutes. And now we remove from the oven after 10 minutes. It's looking a little better. It's a little wrinkly on top. But just because it looks like this doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It's probably pretty good. Alright, so now we wrap it in aluminum foil. And then it's going to go back in the oven. It is wrapped in aluminum foil, and it is going back in the oven for 30 minutes. And hopefully, it comes out looking just fine. Or tasting just fine. Probably not looking. Everyone knows how I cook. Alexa, set a 30-minute timer.
30 minutes, starting now.
Thank you. But I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What that? Alright, 30 minutes is up. So now it's time to get this bad boy out of the oven. Hopefully, it doesn't look bad. Look at that. A little ugly, but It'll do. So now, take it over to this rack over here. And we're gonna flip it as soon as I get the camera angle different, because I can't do this with one hand. Alright, it's time we flip this bread. A little wrinkly, but it looks alright. Now, we're gonna do an optional step. Let's rub some butter on this thing, because butter makes everything better. Using the rest of our butter stick that we used earlier, oh man, it fell out. Using the rest of our butter stick here, we are going to melt it and spread it on the butter. Now we got our butter here, then we're gonna take a little brush around in there, just coat it like that. Like a Bob Ross. He ain't ready for this. Except he's dead, so I think. I'm not sure. I thought he was dead. Oh, I just sprayed hot butter on myself! Here's our final shot at our bread before it cools down. It has been lathered in butter. And it's not the greatest looking piece of bread I've ever seen, but that's just because I didn't let the yeast grow, and I don't think I kneaded it correctly, or probably too much at all. But that's kind of the point, because you live and you learn. But it should taste fine, I hope. Alright, so honestly, when I cut open to it, it didn't look half bad. That looks like it's pretty stable. The wrinkles actually damage structure a lot, so when you cut into that, anything on the bottom that isn't fully secured will fall off. Like this part right here. It had a part that was wrinkled. So, note to self, properly knead your dough. And don't overwork it. You can definitely tell it's overworked. There's like no air in there. So don't overwork your dough. Give your dough proper time to rise too. That's probably an issue. But then again, I'm an awful baker, so I mean, it's not bad. Just put like peanut butter and jelly on it. But I guess until next time, thank you for watching. This has been Baking with Bostinelos. Now for the moment you have all been waiting for. I will drink the dry milk. Cheers. Man, what the